And how does it exactly feel to be the Northwestern admit?
It feels great because people think that you just have to fill a form and all the things, but it's
Mm-hmm.
actually a process of around 5 to 6 months that you put in. You put on all the labor, you're giving
Absolutely.
your exams, and you're in the crush like which university is good for me, shortlisting them and prioritizing and lots
Mm.
of things, SOPs and all. So there are a lot of things to be considered. So like after all that hard work, when gets paid off, it feels really good.
Northwestern University has the acceptance of around just 8% and it's ninth ranked in the US. So, जब shortlist में डाला था, did you imagine that you would be able to crack it?
I would say like last year June में I was not having any idea कि Northwestern University जैसी कोई university भी है. So
Okay.
around when we started shortlisting, then I got to know about it and then I started planning. So uh, it has been a very I would say like I don't know about how other people go, but it has been a very a journey where I have learned so much about so many places and so many colleges because I was not aware of a lot of colleges earlier. Only a few I was aware.
According to you, what other courses can a student with a similar background opt for?
Talking about the course that you want to target is something the question should be, right? Because profile wise, there are multiple courses a student can target. But the main question is कि आपका interest है उस course को करने में या नहीं है, right? Per se, if a student coming from a solely management background want to move into the vast field of data science, right? That is still doable. ठीक है? It's not like कि आपको इस प्रोफाइल के साथ एक ऐसे ही कोर्स में जाना है जो आपके प्रोफाइल से अलाइन करता है.
How important do you think that your engineering degree was here to, like, how important was it to crack this university?
So I apply like I have got an admit for Masters of Engineering Management, and I would say that my engineering degree has been the base why I even applied for this course because like I wanted to uh, go for a degree which lets me stay to my roots of engineering and and I can grow my knowledge on the management side as well. So when I went through the curriculum and everything, this was something that was the best fit for me. Due to which I applied.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another podcast from our series of Fall 2024 Admits. And today we are talking about what does it take to crack Northwestern University. So, okay, it was 15th Feb morning, wherein हमारे पास तीन mails आने थे from Northeastern University for the status updates, and definitely excited. One after the other, we clicked, and yes, we found three Northwestern offers back to back. So that was a jackpot for us. And today we have one of the achievers here, Vidhi Dixit, live with you all to share her insights, guide you, and tell her story to what it takes to crack Northwestern University. So, welcome to the Ace My Prep podcast, Vidhi. Great. So, all right, let's start with it. Let's dive into it. So, first of all, Vidhi, before we are starting, how are you doing? How are you
Oh,
feeling? Hmm.
I'm feeling great, Ashmita. Thanks for asking. So, yeah, after like it has been a long journey since we started off with the applications and planning for all the things. So, like now we have finally made to one of the top colleges. So, it really feels great.
Great, perfect. So having an admit from Northwestern University, it's like a dream for many, right? So, ठीक है. So let's start from the starting. Vidhi ki, where do you reside? Tell us more about yourself.
So I am from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, and currently my work location is Bangalore. So I'm staying in Bangalore itself. Yeah, so I'm just still trying to adjust all the difference of the cultures and everything. But yeah, it's great here.
Okay, perfect. So when did you decide to go abroad? मतलब बहुत starting से था या it's a very recent thing?
So actually, I started to search for that and to look for things early last year, that is 2023. And I tried to do some of the research from my own end, what is the process and which courses would suit me and what I actually aspire for, basically. Because if I go for any course that is being done by a lot of people, then it is not very feasible for me as an individual. So yeah, I took some time for myself, and when I was little confident, then I started approaching people on like how I can get for the application process and everything.
Okay, but in the first place, what was the exact reason to move abroad?
So my reason was more linked to my further studies and the type of curriculum and the type of course I was searching for, which is not readily available in India and like has lots of colleges in the US. So that was my main motivation.
Okay, all right. And how does it exactly feel to be the Northwestern admit?
It feels great because people think that you just have to fill a form and all the things, but it's
Mm-hmm.
actually a process of around 5 to 6 months that you put in. You put on all the labor, you're giving your
Absolutely.
exams, and you're in the crush like which university is good for me, shortlisting them, and prioritizing, and lots
Hmm.
of things, SOPs, and also there are a lot of things to be considered. So like after all that hard work, when gets paid off, it feels really good.
Absolutely. And Northwestern University has the acceptance of around just 8% and it's ninth ranked in the US. So, जब shortlist में डाला था, did you imagine that you would be able to crack it?
So from my side, I would say like last year June May, I was not having any idea कि Northwestern University जैसी कोई university भी है. So
Okay.
around like when we started shortlisting, then I got to know about it, and then I started planning. So uh, it has been a very I would say like I don't know about how other people go, but it has been a very a journey where I have learned so much about so many places and so many colleges, because I was not aware of a lot of colleges earlier, only a few I was aware. So um, I would say yeah, coming from such a place, it's really a great thing for me.
First one from your family to move abroad?
No, not the first one. Yeah, like I have my cousins and my sibling like also went, but uh, yeah, like for me it's the first time. So, so definitely.
Absolutely. ठीक है, perfect. So, Vidhi, starting with the initial academic part, what did you study in your undergraduate?
So my undergraduate degree was Bachelor's of Technology in Information Technology, and yes, and after that, like I started working as a software engineer, which I'm still working.
So, was it always planned that you wanted to be an engineer?
Yes, it was kind of planned. Since my school times, I was very much interested in computers and a lot of things about programming, how this happens, how that happens. So I think it was never like कि एक particular moment था that I decided that I wanted to become an engineer. It was like from childhood itself.
Okay, and how important do you think that your engineering degree was here to, like, how important was it to crack this university?
So I apply like I have got an admit for Masters of Engineering Management, and I would say that my engineering degree has been the base why I even applied for this course, because like I wanted to uh, go for a degree which lets me stay to my roots of engineering, and and I can grow my knowledge on the management side as well. So when I went through the curriculum and everything, this was something that was the best fit for me. Due to which I applied.
Okay, all right. So, Dhruv, my next question to you, since you worked pretty closely on Vidhi's case as well. So, if any engineer is planning to apply, what exactly is the what segment of the undergrad in engineering that you would highlight in the application part or the SOP part?
Okay. So, talking about the course majorly, right? If you want to opt for a course which is kind of in the field of engineering directly, or could be a mixture of engineering and management both, right? So, talking about the undergraduate degree majorly, right? First thing, the sort of technicalities that you hold, right? Even if you hold a degree in undergrad within information technology as a niche, right? First of all, what sort of depth the subjects that you have been taught in your undergrad, that too alongside what sort of programming languages and other technicalities that you hold, right? Because बीटेक और बीट एनी इंजीनियरिंग डिग्री उसका क्रक्स यही होता है कि आप अपने अंडर ग्रेजुएट जर्नी में कितनी टेक्निकलिटीज होल्ड कर पा रहे हो, एंड बेसिस ऑन दैट you should simply aim to the course which should directly align with that undergraduate degree of yours, right? So here, I would say in Vidhi's case, majorly,
Hmm.
engineering management was not a subject that we pursued initially, right? Vidhi ka take
Hmm.
tha to go for an MIM degree, right? We were figuring out for MIM courses for UK, for USA. Then somehow she said, I'm also open to engineering management as well. I was going through the workstation. We had this engineering management ka shortlist already ready. So I said to Vidhi, like, why not go for engineering management? So not like कि आपको MIM ही करना है या आपको यही courses करना है. Let's take a mixture of like both the courses. So for me, personally, this is not like an achievement for Northwestern University, I would say, but we have cracked top 5 universities, including UK as well. So kudos to Vidhi for that, right? And majorly, talking about Northwestern McCormick, that's a big achievement too.
Congrats, Vidhi. Congratulations on these top five offers. And congrats to you as well, Dhruv. The hard work, the efforts, it takes a lot, right? ठीक है तो विधि एक बात बताओ like how confident were you with the kind of work experience that you were holding these many years? How confident were you to apply with these many years to the university?
So what initially I was not very sure ki what is the right uh, amount of work experience that a person should have for a particular
Hmm.
degree. Then I discussed it with Dhruv also, and I did some
Hmm.
self research on like what is the average years of work experience that like this university or that university they accept, like going through their class profiles, how it matches with me, and like there were a few universities which were actually good. But their class profile was actually not matching with my profile, so like we avoided going forward with them. um, so I would say like that was the few factors that I considered for my journey.
Okay, all right. So, Dhruv, coming to you, how important do you think that the brand name of the company is specifically?
See, talking about the brand name majorly, I mean, that do hold a sort of advantage for the applications, right? In Vidhi's case, I believe brand name हमारे पास 2022 में आया था when she started working for JP Morgan. Before that, she was not holding that sort of brand name, right? But considering the fact that she had this sort of enhancement in her work trajectory that we were able to showcase in her CV, right? That played a very major role, right? And apart from that, and in my personal recommendation, I would say yes, brand names do hold important, like it is an important segment of one's profile, right? But that too, it's not like if you're not holding a brand name, that doesn't mean you cannot sit in top 10 or top 20 universities in the states, right? If you're not holding a brand name, I would suggest that the sort of work experience that you do in your daily life, that to the in-depth analysis of what you do, if you are able to showcase that to the university, I mean, you're acing it definitely. So if you're having a brand name, for fair enough, you do hold something advantageous. If you're not holding it, that is also fine. You can talk about the in-depth work experience and the sort of expertise that you hold. That will compensate for it.
Okay, so according to you, like if a student is not coming from a very big brand name, they can directly highlight their experience or day-to-day work or the in-depth of the work that they're doing.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I mean, it's not like people working for JP Morgan and big fours are only sitting in IVs in United States. I mean, people who have their own startups, they do hold the power to
True.
sit in IVs in today's world, right?
Absolutely. Hmm. All right, great. Okay. So, Vidhi, like with your background, why do you think, like later, obviously, discussion ke baad with Dhruv, why did you think that MEM was one of the best choices for you?
So from my perspective, it was a good choice for me because like I figured it out that like I do not want to just get out of completely from engineering background or from my roots. Like I always wanted to be a software engineer. So like I wanted a course that I can stay connected with it and I can grow my skills for management as well. And then going through the curriculums and the university uh, pages and everything, after lots of research we came through to this course because of on my perspective that was the main reason, because it was enabling me to grow my profile and grow my skills and improve myself in both the directions that I always wanted to do.
Right, perfect. And Dhruv, according to you, what other courses can a student with a similar background opt for?
Okay. So just to brief you about Vidhi's profile at the moment. So if we consider this as a highlight, I mean the basic profile, right? Considering you have a good GPA of more than 9, let's say, right? In the same field of BTech and beat any niche of BTech, right? holding a 2.3, 2.5 years of work experience, that would get GRE score, right? Now, talking about the course that you want to target is something the question should be, right? Because profile wise, there are multiple courses a student can target. But the main question is कि आपका interest है उस course को करने में या नहीं है, right? Per se, if a student coming from a solely management background want to move into the vast field of data science, right? That is still doable. ठीक है, इट्स नॉट लाइक कि आपको इस प्रोफाइल के साथ एक ऐसे ही कोर्स में जाना है जो आपके प्रोफाइल से अलाइन करता है. Talking about the courses that one should do or one should ideally be doing with his of someone holding with his profile, right? You can even go to MEM, you can go for MIM, you can go for MSc in management, go for business analytics, data science, data analytics, even in the field of like computer science as well, with machine learning and artificial intelligence as like a niche per se. So multiple course options are there for profile such like we have with this profile. Yeah.
Okay, all right, ठीक है. So great insights, I would say, with all the courses. So for Vidhi as well, these options we exposed these options to Vidhi कि ये भी कर सकते हैं.
See, absolutely. I mean, when if we check the workstation of Vidhi, right? So
हाँ.
majorly, our interest is basically into the side of management and tech combining, right? Talking about the other courses, Vidhi has explored like courses into project management, into data analytics, be it engineering management, MIM, right? Few courses for MBA as well. That to the few universities that offers MBA for people less than 3 years of work experience, right? Per se, but the only reason is that she did not even want to lose the touch of tech side, right? And I still remember, I mean, the conversation that I had with Vidhi that day, that what is engineering management basically? I mean, she said that I'm not even eligible to apply for a few universities considering the work experience. And my only like discussion with her was key engineering management is basically for the people who have 8-9 years of work experience per se, right? But also in the same cohort, people with 2-3 years of work experience will also be there. So that is the only course which is available in the United States for people जिनका work experience कम है और work experience बहुत ज़्यादा है. That's how they make the cohort of engineering management, right? And my personal thing was, I mean, the game changer that we had was a GRE score because I recall the conversation that I used to had with her कि विधि कैसा जा रहा है GRE में, कैसा perform कर रहे हो, कितने आपने mark दिए, कितना score हो पा रहा है. And basis on that, to give her more clarity, what I added was a small sheet on her workstation telling कि इतना GRE score तो लेकर ही आना है बाबा, इससे नीचे नहीं जाना अगर ये universities target करनी है तो. And kudos to her, she scored like very well in GRE, and that's how we're sitting over here discussing this, getting a Northwestern admit.
Perfect. What was the target GRE that you gave through to Vidhi?
Uh, her target was somewhere nearby 315 average to लेकर आओ 320 लेकर आओ. She scored more than 320. That was like a relief for me.
Great, perfect. ठीक है. तो विधि एक quick question, inquisitiveness है. Coming from an engineering background, how did you convince Northwestern that you would do good in the management sector as well?
So actually we had an interview round as well where like they were very much interested in knowing like, okay, you have such background and you're like trying to move into a different discipline. How are the things? So like my insights on that was that as far as my current experience is concerned, like I have been into industry and I've like seen that including the technical skills or the software skills that I currently hold, there are opportunities for even software engineers as well, where you get to hold some positions or some opportunities where you have to manage maybe a team or a project or something. So from that small things, those experiences, I started to like build a thing that okay, if I have those skills, like if I have learned more or if I add these things also into my skill set, it will be very good for my career. So and then like in the bigger picture, if I add these things or these management skills into my technical background, it will be like a great trajectory for myself, and hence I decided that like that's how like I told the interviewer as well. He like current I am doing all these things, and I have also been into few I got few leadership opportunities, but I think that if I am able to like grasp this knowledge as well, then be good for my profile, and I think I'll be able to contribute more to any organization that I work for.
Perfect. So for you, the game changer was the interview.
Yeah, I can say that actually, like, I'm not very much aware of like how it went for the other people. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that as for me, it was a good chat actually. It was not, the interview was also not very formal. It was like we discussed about the accommodations as well, how is the environment there, all those things. So
Hmm.
it was a good experience.
Great. That means all the students don't need to be scared about the interview. It can be a normal conversation as well.
Yeah, I would say that for me, and I think for most of the students, interview is the scary part, where they think that they're actually going to face a person. And like for what I did, like before getting into the interview, I checked the his profile. Okay, what experiences does this hold? And when you go through all these things, you will feel that okay, this person is so experienced. He's such and such position and all those things. So you get even more scared, but like talking to them, it's like you'll never feel that as per my experience that like they're trying to
Hmm.
push some things on you. I think like
So
it was good.
that's actually perfect. Okay. So perfect. So Dhruv, right now Vidhi mentioned about how interview was the best for her. But according to you, how can a student make a compelling application to masters that is different from the past background?
Okay. Uh, so Ashmita, just to answer to your question, right? I would divide this into two segments basically, right? A few examples ताकि जो भी लोग देख पा रहे हैं इस पॉडकास्ट को उनको ज्यादा बेटर समझ में आए, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's take the first example. First, you want to apply for a program जिसका deadline आज से 6 महीने बाद है, right? And you have 6 months from now, ठीक है, अपनी application prepare करने के लिए for that particular course, be it MBA for example, right? For any university in states or be it any other country, right? Now talking about क्या compelling factors हो सकते हैं या क्या आप highlight कर सकते हो, right? Just so that not coming from the same background that you hold, tech वाला भी MBA कर सकता है, that too non-tech वाला भी MBA कर सकता है, right? Now talking about the 6 months of time that you hold with you, right? That is like a sort of advantage for you, I would say, right? Now इस पीरियड में if you do hold this scenario, अगर आपके पास time है and you have 5-6 months to prepare, right? Make sure अपना profile better कर रहे हो, ठीक है? So for me personally, अगर मेरे को किसी कोर्स में अप्लाई करना है and if I have 5-6 months with me, first thing what I would do it, I'll simply jot down the pointers in terms of strengths and weaknesses, right? सबसे पहले करंट प्रोफाइल में आई विल सिंपली जॉट डाउन मेरी स्ट्रेंथ्स क्या है इस प्रोफाइल में और वीकनेसेस क्या है, ठीक है? नाउ पिकिंग अप द वीकनेसेस, उसको मैं कैसे ओवरकम कर सकता हूँ? Be it if I want to apply for a program called MBA, MBA is all about the sort of work experience and leadership qualities and skills that you hold. If I feel मेरे पास leadership skills अभी नहीं है, right? What add-ons can I do, right? What sort of other project works I can take? What sort of enhancement in my current profile of the work experience or career I can do, just so that मेरे उस cohort में बैठने के chances improve हो, right? So first thing अपने weakness को pick करके पहले उस पे काम करना है. Talking about the other things that you can do is profile enhancement that we also do for the students here at Ace My Prep, right? So profile enhancement is the major segment जो बहुत ज्यादा advantageous होगा आपके लिए, right? If you do hold this sort of time with you, right? You can add on multiple things, multiple project works per se, right? You can add on certifications. You can add on, I mean, if you want to go for a tech side, right? If you want to go for computer science, data science, you can even add a research paper, you can even add technical articles as well, right? So majorly, this was the first segment. अगर आपके पास 6 महीने का टाइम है, आप basically अपना प्रोफाइल enhance करोगे. Now talking about the second segment of it, right? Talking about people जिनको अभी 1.5-2 महीने में application submit करते हैं, they do not have time, they just need to get the shortlisting done and get done with the SOPs and simply apply to the university, right? और 80% of students who would want to apply इसी time period में करते हैं, उनको नहीं पता होता कि 1 साल पहले applications खुल जाते हैं, right? So minimum time के अंदर उनको बहुत अच्छा application करना होता है. For them, I would say profile enhancement is not like a major thing for you guys, right? बट अभी आपके करंट प्रोफाइल में आप कहाँ पे स्टैंड करते हो पहले उसको फिगर आउट करने का ट्राई करो, ठीक है? कितना आपके पास इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस है आपके करंट प्रोफाइल का, यू हैव टू डू दैट. यू हैव टू चेक व्हिच कोर्स यू वांट टू अप्लाई. For example, taking Vidhi's example, Vidhi has done her she has done her BTech in IT, right? And she was even aiming for MIM as well, right? Now MIM, we all know MIM is open for all the people coming from different background as well. But talking about MBA भी करना होता विधि को, विधि MBA भी कर सकती है, right? MBA, MIM, these sort of courses are open for all the applicants. Talking about CS, she was even able to, if she would have that interest, उसको CS में जाने में भी बहुत easy रहता, right? So talking about अगर आपके पास अभी इतना time नहीं है, करंट प्रोफाइल चेक करो, करंट प्रोफाइल में क्या चीजें आपको लगता है आपका एडवांटेज हो सकती है, वर्क ऑन दैट, राइट? Moreover, check the curriculum which the university or the course you want to study is offering to you, right? Curriculum is the main thing. That's where the research work comes into picture, right? It's not like कि
Hmm.
आपने कर तो लिया मैनेजमेंट साइड में कोई डिग्री, बट आपको थोड़ा टेक साइड जाना है, बट आपके पास नॉलेज नहीं है. यू डू नॉट नो द नो हाउ ऑफ हाउ द टेक साइड वर्क्स, what sort of picture it looks like. So basically थोड़ा रिसर्च उस चीज के बारे में करना, थोड़ा सा प्रीरिक्विजिट आई वुड से, थोड़ा सा इन्फॉर्मेशन पहले से लेकर जाओ, would be easier for you to even apply and even to study over there, right? अगर आपके पास पहले से उस कोर्स का नॉलेज है, then the
Hmm.
ultimate thing this would be a recipe, because SOPs are the main thing university would want you to have a good SOP, right? SOP will eventually help the universities better understand your profile, right? CV is something which you are presenting, that is fine, but they want to understand your story of it, right? आपका background कहाँ था, क्या, what was the factor that intrigued you the most to apply for this university, this program, right? Why you want to apply to this program? Because there are like thousands and millions of applicants applying for the same program. What sort of status do you hold that you think you should ace this program and can contribute to the cohort as well, right? So these sort of factors you should definitely be get into like the hold of it. Then absolutely then alongside to ace your application. Yeah.
Okay. All right. ठीक है. So, Vidhi, for you specifically, why was for you Northwestern's MEM program good? Like, what did you like about that program?
So there are multiple factors that I considered, like apart from the prestigious reputation that Northwestern holds, uh, the curriculum and the type of course that they offer is, I think, very unique because there are areas of specialization within the course as well, which is like it
Hmm?
could be product management and project management and like different things are there, like different fields are there. For me, product management was the one which I chose, and like
Mhm.
it was something that I was more inclined to. So I went and saw the like how for product management, what are the courses that they are offering, and how
Hmm.
specialization in this field could help me. So
Hmm.
first thing was this related to the curriculum, and apart from that, the areas of focus that they have is like innovation, strategic thinking, and leadership, which is very much required in today's corporate world. So and like all the core all the throughout the tenure of their course, they'll do things to keep this focus areas and try to upskill you on those. So that was good. And apart from that, the how they have like put the things for the students in the website, I think that is a very catchy thing. Like they are enabling the students to know everything about the course, how it's going to be there, and not even the course, the university insights as well. Like there are many student clubs and all which I was interested to. Like there are special clubs for Indian communities as well, and for sports, for dance. So like not only you can go for this like for academics it is the best, but like you can also keep in touch with your extracurriculars as well. And uh, and lastly, the like the final projects and all those things, like when I went to the curriculum, I found that these things would be a very good experience for me, and the type of exposure that I'll be getting here as the cohort is great, and it's like smaller also as compared to the other universities. It would be a plus point for myself.
Right, yeah. Too much of insight, but that's great actually. ठीक है. So for Dhruv, you specifically, how did you categorize the dream safe average? How do you do that?
Okay. For like Vidhi's profile, majorly, I would say that was kind of very difficult for me to be very honest, right? Considering अभी GRE हम लोग देने वाले हैं, and you have to figure it
Hmm?
out anyhow कि इतना score GRE में चाहिए. So that's where I mean the knowledge of CS comes into picture, right? Now talking about if I have to tell you the basic bifurcation, right? How we do is basically the sort of prestige the university holds, right? The ranking, per se the curriculum the university is like offering, right? And how known that university is for that particular course, right? Talking about the dream average and safe bifurcation, I would say Vidhi ke case mein was very much kind of I would say simple for me when the GRE score came up, right? Because without the GRE score, we will simply be like kind of assuming कि ठीक है per se if you want to apply for Northwestern, ultimately dream category में रहेगा because you do like you are eligible for the program, right? You can sit in that cohort. Ultimately, you would want a good GRE score, right? Basically, talking about the depth she holds in her work experience, the technicalities, the sort of GPA which is very good, right? Do allow her to at least apply for such good rigorous curriculum and good university. But what if हमारा GRE में स्कोर नहीं हो पाया? क्या तब भी हमारा chances उतने ही रहेंगे to get into Northwestern? That was the question for me at that point of time. But I would say कि जो trust था, right, into the process that too I trusted Vidhi कि ठीक है, she is preparing very well. She said कि इतना I'll try कि इतना score आ जाए, and she scored very well in GRE. So that was the game changer for us. And when the GRE score came up, I would say it was very simple for me because that day I told her कि ठीक है Northwestern करे, so let's keep it in the dream category, right? We do have other universities that we have in the workstation in safe and average category as well. But that was not the ultimate like aim for us, right? We aimed mainly for like the fisheye. We wanted to crack Northwestern, and apart from that, we do knew that there are other universities that we can get into, but Northwestern is the ultimate aim for us. So yeah, for me, I mean, when the GRE score came up, we were kind of clear with this picture that we have to get it done.
Okay, perfect. So, how many dream safe average schools were there in her list?
Okay, so talking about like the universities, we apply for 6 set of schools, right? And we
Okay.
have one university in the safe category. Then we had like 3 universities in the averages category and 2 in dream category, right? Talking about the safe schools, I mean, for MIM, she's holding like a very outstanding profile, I would say, right? But considering the fact that MIM is also something she can do, but she has her interest into engineering management, the side of tech and management combining, right? So talking about that, we figure out the universities. Then for MEM as well, when we shortlisted the schools, we kind of kept like 2 universities in the dream category, right, and one in the average category. Because the one that I kept for the average category was a university which holds a very good, decent ranking, which is George Washington University, right? And apart from that, that university has a kind of fair, decent acceptance rate, right? So we knew that George Washington, being a university, if we get through this university, we are getting the ROI, we are getting all the major segments that we want to have in our end goal, right? The trajectory that we see. But ultimately, considering कि George Washington admit आ सकता है, but we want to aim higher. That's where AceMath Prep comes into picture. AceMath Prep का काम ही क्या है? To help you achieve your dream schools, right? So that's when we realized that we have to keep at least 1 2 good universities there in the short list. We kept Columbia, we kept Northwestern, and we got through Northwestern. Now waiting for Columbia. So I guess that's a huge, huge achievement for us.
We are waiting for Columbia as well now.
Yeah, definitely. Waiting for
Like
the offer
expect
from
कर रहे हैं?
Columbia. March end.
March end. ठीक है विधि, क्या लग रहा है? क्या chances है?
I don't know. Let's see. Yes.
ठीक है, all right, perfect. I would love to talk about shortlisting, but उससे पहले I have a question. Like, how exactly did you choose your target country? Like, why USA? What's the reason?
So for me, USA was like one of the major choices because firstly, engineering management के जो mostly अच्छे colleges हैं, they are in US itself. And apart from that, looking at the the locations, kind of exposure that I can get, and apart from that, the university rankings and also the ROI, which is very essential. So all these factors, if we see, then US came out to be the ideal choice for me.
तो ये स्टार्टिंग से क्लियर था कि यूएससी करना है मतलब आफ्टर रिसर्च
नहीं like I had like we had applied to UK universities as well. We applied to 2 universities in the UK and we got the admits from there as well. But yeah, like after we got to Northwest, like there was a bifurcation in mind that if we get to UK, these are universities good, and there also we can get these things. And if we get into US, these are the universities that we are going to prioritize. And apart from that, like उन दोनों में से भी prioritizing का हमने थोड़ा सा like we had in mind. So I think it was a little confusing for us initially because we had minds in all the places. But yeah, slowly we came back to a certain point.
It was not really confusing because अभी पता नहीं था कहाँ से एडमिट आएगा. सारे ही एडमिट आ गए. अब ज्यादा कंफ्यूजिंग हो रहा है कि जाए कहाँ.
That is true, actually. Yeah, like that is true.
Hmm. ठीक है. So, Dhruv, you deal with students day in, day out, right? So, why do you think that so many students are heading for the US as compared to UK?
Uh, See, according to my take, I would say the sort of uh, return on investment I would say the student gets, right, because of the STEM designation the US offers, right, the sort of job opportunities, because they do need people coming from the same background, right? They do need people who know the technical know-how, who understands the tech field, and they do have multiple job openings. I mean, if you check the trends, I mean, people are moving to USA mainly because they have a lot to offer for the coming like 2 3 years 5 years down the line, right? So that is the major reason someone should like target US in terms of their masters or broad education. Now another factor is I believe in USA the sort of universities are there, right? The sort of rankings they hold and the curriculum which they offer is something which will eventually help you out to turn yourself into the better version, right? If you stand at point A and you want to go to point B, right, the easiest way to get into that point with a lot of things being added onto your plate in terms of knowledge, in terms of exposure, in terms of like beat anything, US is the right choice, and that is the reason I think people are heading towards US according to the current trends and sort of the sort of average salaries the students gets these days. So US is at peak at the moment.
ठीक है. All right. So, Vidhi, as Roop also mentioned कि हमने Safe Dream Average University 6 universities डाली थी. Which all exact universities did you have in your shortlist?
So it was in UK, it was University College London and Warwick University. And in the US, it was George Washington, University of Southern California, Northwestern, and Columbia.
ठीक है. And we are having 5 offers now.
True.
बस कोलंबिया रहता है. ठीक है. Perfect. All right. So, Dhruv, coming to you, what was your first review of Vidhi's case when she came to you as a profile?
Okay. So, my take was, I mean, considering the profile Vidhi holds, I mean, she had like very good GPA. So that was the first thing. So, काफी चीजें पहले ही सॉर्ट हो गई थी कि प्रोफाइल में यार काफी कुछ है जो दिखा सकते हैं. But the only thing is कि इसको दिखाए कैसे, right? To show the picture that we are seeing कि हमारी प्रोफाइल में ये सारी चीजें हैं, इनसे हम एडमिट निकाल सकते हैं. The question is how, like, what sort of information you have to put in that CV and that SOP so that the university, the person who is considering your application, that is reviewing the same, should understand your vision, right? That you hold at the moment. Vidhi ka jab when I like first talked with like Vidhi, we were discussing on the workstation what sort of universities are there, what sort of other things we need to do, right? Talking about the CV, I mean CV and SOP के बारे में इसलिए बात करें because these are the only documents जो university के पास जाते हैं along with their application, right? उसी के basis पर the 60% the major segment of work is gets done, right? टॉकिंग अबाउट द सीवी, विधि के एमएम और एमईएम दोनों कोर्सेज के लिए तो अलग अलग सीवी गए हैं, राइट? इट्स नॉट लाइक एक ही सीवी से दो एप्लीकेशन या दो कोर्सेज के एप्लीकेशन हमने कर दिया. दैट वाज लाइक व्हेन आई रियलाइज बिकॉज सी बीइंग अ सीएस आई वुड नॉट वांट टू पुट एन एप्लीकेशन जिसमें मैं 100% श्योर नहीं हूँ, राइट? And that's the beauty of ASMI prep, I would say, because when I made one CV for Vidhi and we finalized the CV, we had to apply for MEM program. Then I called Vidhi that day if she remembers. मैंने बोला कि विधि ये CV यूज नहीं करेंगे for MIM, एक और CV बनाता हूँ वो यूज करेंगे for MIM. I would say कि MIM के लिए दूसरा CV जाना चाहिए. I'm not very sure about this CV because this CV is kind of like way too much for an MIM course, right? So what if university ने बोल दिया that you are overqualified? So then I made some tweaks in that CV. Then I realized कि ठीक है इस चीज को इतना in depth दिखाना चाहिए या इतना in depth नहीं दिखाना चाहिए, considering which course you want to apply. And that too, the sort of information you have to present in that SOP. It's not like कि आप सारी story SOP में लिख दो. You have to make sure that you are addressing to very crisp and concise pointers, and you are limiting your information. It's not like you are overflowing it, right? जो चीजें हमें दिखानी है वही दिखानी चाहिए. It's not like आप ज्यादा दिखाओ उस चीज को. And that's how I realized कि ठीक है इस प्रोफाइल के साथ with few arrangements, with few CVs, with few essays gets done, you can crack Northwestern, you can crack top universities, and now it has been proven. So yeah, it was like a very good case for me.
Right. So, apart from resume, what was the Ace My Prep strategy when it came to cracking a big brand name like Northwestern?
Okay. Talking about Northwestern, first thing, you should definitely consider कि Northwestern का prestige क्या है. That too, Northwestern का cohort कितना छोटा है. It's not like बहुत ज़्यादा लोग बैठे हैं वहाँ पे. Uh, con- the university holds like a cohort of 60-65 people. That too, last time से थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा बड़ा है वो. That too,
Hmm.
approximately 8% of people coming from Southeast Asia. That too, half of it coming from India directly. That too, three of us from AceMap directly. One is Vidhi Dixit sitting right here next to us. So that's a huge achievement, I would say, right? Now, considering Northwestern as a target university, right? First thing, your research work should be apt, right? जब तक आप यूनिवर्सिटी का विजन अपने विजन से मैच नहीं कर पाओगे यू कैन नॉट इवन पुट एन एप्लीकेशन यू कैन नॉट इवन स्टार्ट राइटिंग योर एसओपी राइट यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट द यूनिवर्सिटी हैज टू ऑफर यू एंड इवन इफ आपको चाहिए भी है नहीं चाहिए राइट because it's like a give and take process I would say according to me personally what I've observed like counseling so many students जितना आपको यूनिवर्सिटी की जरूरत है उतनी ही यूनिवर्सिटी को भी आपकी जरूरत होती है राइट दैट्स हाउ दे मेक देयर कोहॉर्ट राइट so
Hmm.
according to me first thing do your research try to align with the vision the university holds university want you to have third thing
Hmm.
is check again your profile that you hold currently अगर आप लेवल 20 पर से यूनिवर्सिटी के लेवल 40 पर है what sort of things you can do to bridge that gap right that's how you can dream of applying to such good university it wouldn't have been possible अगर विधि भी वो ट्रस्ट नहीं दिखाती और अगर मेरे उस गट फीलिंग पर विधि ने ट्रस्ट नहीं किया होता कि ठीक है we should apply for this university because according to my research work the expertise that I hold I was able to tell Vidhi कि ठीक है Northwestern could be an option for us. We can even keep like for UK if you want to keep, you can keep UCL, you can keep Warwick, right? These are good brand names as well. Because I've done my research, I've seen people getting into this university with sort of profile, right? And I do understand how to compare the profiles. So if I feel कि last year ऐसा admit आया है, so why not Vidhi? Vidhi can even apply for this university. What say Vidhi का offer आ जाता है? Now we're holding the offer again, right? So I mean, yeah, you should definitely align your vision with the universities.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So talking about the process, Vidhi, as a student, what concerned you the most?
Talking about the process, firstly, initially I would say कि जो process है, it's not like a 1 day or a 2 day process. It's a very long
Great.
process. So
Hmm.
like you have to commit a lot of time, like and like for SOPs and there are different things. Firstly, अगर आप GRE clear करते हो या whatever test that you give, उसमें आपका point like that becomes 1 point. Apart from
Hmm.
that, if you're writing an SOP, what pointers you should keep in and what should be the general idea. So it's all a very time consuming process. So I
Hmm.
would say that the challenge that I faced was actually like uh, what are the pointers like I should consider in myself, and like I think you've helped me a lot with that how we can place them, and and also to think about that even though like the process is long, but yeah, we should always try to stick and try to gain more on ourselves कि अच्छा ठीक है ये हमारे लिए है, and we should set our aims basically कि हमारा ये
Hmm.
aim set है and maybe it's difficult to achieve but we won't give up whatever time it takes.
Basically, trusting the process.
हाँ.
Hmm. ठीक है, fair enough. तो अभी बीच में आपने SOPs की बात करी थी, started off the answer with that. SOPs major concern होता है majority of the students का. So how was the editing process for you at Ace My Prep?
Editing process, I would say, is it was good. Like initially, we started off with that, and we did have some of the like re-edits and all those things, but it was good. We were able to come up with the perfect one very soon enough, and we were able to punch all the applications on time.
Perfect. So how did you say the big yes to your SOP? मतलब I'll tell you, many students they actually take a lot of bandwidth as well कि नहीं ये बहुत बार re-edits कराते हैं. What was your factor for saying yes? कि no, this is perfect for me.
So for me, like whatever pointers I had in mind, a few pointers which I think that they would be good for my SOP. So I just went through the SOP and I thought that okay, these are the things that I think that can be highlighted. And sometimes I went to the wall so that I think that this is we should put this or we shouldn't put that. And so अपने insights भी देते थे. So then like it became clear that okay, if we are putting this, we are putting this for a reason, and नहीं कर रहे हैं, so it is also for a reason.
Okay, ठीक है, perfect. So Dhruv, according to you, what all should an ideal SOP have? At least 3 points if you can mention.
Okay, so talking about the pointers that an ideal SOP should have is first thing, what is your like short-term, long-term goal? Absolutely, right? Because that's how you would be able to pitch to the university that you see yourself 2, 3 years down the line working in this particular organization at this work role. After 5 to 10 years down the line, this is your ultimate long-term goal, right? And considering the fact that universities these days would definitely want you to answer these questions, ultimately वो चीज आपको as a questionnaire पूछती ही है, right? But if you want to showcase a few things in your recipe, I would say first thing, talk about that story, right? That helped you to apply for this course, that helped you being the person you are at current, right? So talk about your background first, right? What made you apply to this program? That is most important. What is your long-term, short-term goal? You can add on, right? Talking about the things which should be very course specific, I would say. First, say if you want to apply for a computer science program, what sort of technicalities you hold, how much marks did you score, what sort of projects work you hold, right? Those sort of things you can definitely address in your recipe. Apart from that, you can talk about multiple extracurricular things as well, because these days universities want you to have a very holistic profile, right? It's not like if you want to apply for a computer science program, you should be a tech savvy, you should be a software engineering itself, right? उसके अलावा बहुत सारी चीजें आपकी प्रोफाइल में होनी चाहिए. That's how
Agreed.
a person becomes, I mean, a sort of an individual that could contribute to the cohort and for the upliftment of the society, I would say, right? So
Hmm.
these should be the ultimate pointers that ideally SOP में होना ही चाहिए. But apart from
हाँ.
that, it depends. Things are very subjective. Depends which course you want to apply, what sort of background you hold, what sort of things you have to, showcase in your recipe. But हाँ, these 4 or 5 pointers, I would say definitely SOP में होने चाहिए.
Okay. All right. Vidhi, आपने बोला था Northwestern का you had an interview that which was the game changer basically for you. So tell us more about it. Like at least give us insights. There are students who are actually wanting to move ahead with Northwestern as well. So can you throw light on at least 3 questions that were asked to you?
So initially, for me, it started like, what was your motivation to apply for this course, and then it was like how coming to my background, then for me, how it is an ideal course choice, and how
Hmm?
Northwestern is the ideal choice for me. So
Okay.
for me, the interview mostly went on why I chose Northwestern, and what insights, like what how I can be useful for the university, how I can help in increasing the weight of the cohort, and
Hmm?
like how I'm sure about the university basically. So it completely
Okay.
revolved about that, and it
Hmm.
was a good experience actually. It was not like that they'll be like very rigorous in asking things. It could be a light discussion, but yes, I think for acing this particularly, you should be self-aware that what are you going to do in your life, and how what this means to you basically.
Absolutely. Hmm. All right. So how did you prepare with us with Ace My Prep?
With Ace My Preps, we had a lot of mocks actually, where I was able to gain insights like being completely newbie to this to the application process. So the mocks enabled me to realize that what are the pointers that I can improve on, and uh, how to answer any question that comes, like what kind of questions I could have. Because like if you try to go over the internet also, there are not many like articles you would find about a particular university's interview process. So
Hmm?
the kind of questions that we can get, and how we can tackle those, and how we should put like have our own thought gathered, that okay, you should be presented like it with your own mind, that okay, I am sure about this university, I'm sure about this course, and I have to showcase myself, like how this
Hmm.
is the best for me and how I'll be a good student for them.
Right. ठीक है. Perfect है. तो अब तो offer आ गया. Now talking about the visa stage. Visa start हो गया. Process has been started.
The process has been initiated. Like
Hmm.
we are still in the process of getting the slots and all, but yeah, it has been initiated already.
How's it going? How's the visa process going?
Visa process is also going good. We have started off right now. We are trying to look for the dates for the interviews and all, and meanwhile, that we are trying to prepare for the other documents as well that we actually require for the application.
What all documents are we speaking about here?
Like right now, I have there is I think DS form. I think actually I'm not very much aware of that we get from the university itself. So
Hmm?
for now, we haven't received that. So like right now, we cannot punch the application for visa directly. We can book the slots, interview slots, but we cannot like punch in the application completely. So we are waiting for that. Once we have that, then we will fill the complete form and then we'll submit.
ठीक है. And मेजर देखो वीजा में जब जाता है finances are very important. So how and when did you decide about the finances?
So for me, final like finances, it's I had few things in mind, and like we are still like I had discussion with Prachi as well, like how we can show them, and like I'm still connected to the team, and we are still figuring out how to exactly go for that. It's still in the process.
ठीक है, ऑल राइट. तो इतनी सारी बातें वी डिड अबाउट पास्ट, अभी तक क्या किया, क्या चीजें हुई, आगे का देखते हैं. व्हाट आर यू मोस्ट एक्साइटेड अबाउट?
And I like highly excited about going like being back to college basically. It's because it's like being in college is one of the I think great days of our life. So I'll be back to college and uh, meeting new people, especially from different regions, and like being exposed to a great faculty members as well. So yeah, I'm excited about the college on whole.
Perfect. So part time job का क्या सीन है? Well, you're preparing for it? Anything for that?
Yeah, like I'm looking for those. Like we haven't started applying or anything yet, but yes, I'm looking and I'm trying to do some research on my own end as well right now. And maybe you could
Okay.
get a chance and we'll discuss more on that.
Absolutely. ठीक है. And very importantly, how is your family responding to you leaving the country?
My family is very supportive actually. They are
Hmm?
like, okay, like, if it's good for you, then you should go for it. Uh, so like they are very much prepared for the same, and like they're supporting me, you know, through they have supported me through all the process. So
कभी
yeah,
कभी होता है ना, इमोशनल अत्याचार होता है कि बच्चा जा रहा है दूर. So that thing is there
हाँ
specifically in the Indian household, I'll tell you. So
yeah,
that is
but
there.
नहीं मेरी फैमिली में तो इतना नहीं है आई थिंक लाइक मोस्ट ऑफ द फैमिलीज होता है आई एम लकी इनफ मेरी फैमिली में ऐसा नहीं है बिकॉज लाइक few people are already outside so they know like they're like
Hmm.
aware of the things that are there and how it can help for my profile so they're okay for that.
Okay, that's actually great. ठीक है. So, see, at Ace My Prep, every student is a story. A story where we want to make our student the hero, and you are the one right now. According to you, what is the X factor that Ace My Prep has that made you stick with it?
The X factor I would say here is being open to my opinions and like always like I think when I connected with Dhruv there and like we have been through a lot of universities before actually coming to a point of six universities. So ऐसा नहीं था कि like there is a rush कि नहीं this is good you should go for that. So they're always like Dhruv has always listened to me like whatever my concerns are and like till we both are satisfied we never take a step forward. So I think that is very important.
ठीक है. And if we go back in the timeline right now, how did you get to know at the first place about Ace My Prep?
Uh, Actually, I came across through Google itself. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking for the like for how to apply and all those things. So I just got a link for the same, and then I started looking for okay, what are the things that I can get here, and then I booked a session as well. And then in the session, I was given more insights on okay how this works, how is the process, how what help I can get here, and all those things. So then I started to like, and then I finalized to go with this.
मतलब you were doing your own research with different consultancies, and then you came. So with every consultancy, you had a session, or was there something specific कि आप session में आए, या you were taking sessions with everyone?
Not everyone. Like I had a session with the one or two more consultancies. But
Hmm.
yeah, like there were like everyone has a different thing to offer. But like my goals
Absolutely.
felt more aligned to whatever like was here and how we are addressing the applications over here. So I decided to move forward.
And how did you feel after the first session?
Like actually, it was motivating. Also, like it was I would say a reality check as well on like how much time we have, because I think I had a session in June, and I was
Yes.
actually thinking that I had a lot of time like before I joined the session. But then I realized that actually there is not a lot of time. So it was a reality check as well, and yeah, then I got to know about the process then. So like, thought that it was the best time to start.
ये majority of the students साथ होता है. They feel I'll tell you, I still get students who want to move it for September 24 intake. मुश्किल से 5 महीने बचे and they still feel कि नहीं 5 महीने है time है. To tell about the to like no for them to know about the timeline, it's very much important.
Mm.
ठीक है, perfect. अच्छा, अगर if at all I ask you to rate your entire journey with Ace My Prep on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you rate?
I think I would rate it around 9.
ठीक है,
And
एक काम गया.
and still journeys left.
Okay, so that one
So,
we'll get after the journey is completed.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. But overall, on a serious level, how was your journey with us? Because initially you mentioned ki obviously it's not a smooth road here; it's a journey, right? Everything can't be just like flurry, flurry throughout. So
Yes,
how was
yes.
your journey?
The journey was, I like, as you mentioned, it was not like very smooth, obviously. There were hurdles, but yeah, I think that the one thing that was good for me, that I was able to connect with Dhruv whenever I had any concern, because obviously, like, being a student who is not very much aware about the application process, you are doubtful in many stages that, okay, how is this going to work? Is this thing the right, some like this thing, is this thing right for my application or not? How we can frame this up and all those things. So like I think I was able to connect and I was able to discuss my doubts. So that was something that made my process less full of hurdles. So it was good.
Okay, perfect. So few words for Dhruv. Vidhi, anything from your end?
I
Dhruv,
was just
I
waiting
think
for it.
so I think I got I started with talking to Dhruv around in September, and from our first call itself, we started to uh, like get in center of the options that we actually have and where we should go for the target. So I think Dhruv was very supportive throughout the journey, and he's still supporting actually, and I hope we continue the same. So he has been very supportive, and he was always available whenever there were any doubts, and he was also open to feedbacks. Like if I think that okay, this is not something very good that I feel in my SOP or maybe in my application, so he was
Hmm?
open to that, and we used to resolve all the things together. So I think that made my journey very good as well. So thanks to Dhruv.
Perfect. So
Absolutely.
great. Okay, so Vidhi, your honest opinion, what would be your genuine feedback for Ace My Prep?
For Ace My Prep, my genuine feedback is that one thing that I had seen, like I when I connected with the other consultancies as well, that like there is no particular university that you'll be like, if your CS feels or anybody feels that it is a good one, they'll never push you to go there. It is always your own opinion that you can follow, but there'll always be guidance and the right guidance. Like if you're going in a wrong direction, they'll not simply follow you. That okay, you please go and fall into that pit. So there'll be constructive feedback, if even if it's negative. So I think that is very important because no, students are generally not aware of many of the things that are required in an application process. So I think the right advice and right guidance is very necessary, which I actually offer.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so to sum up this entire podcast, one last thing with you. What would be your piece of advice to all the US aspirants out there?
I think firstly, uh, the students should not most as per my journey itself. I was mostly like thinking about the universities and doing all sorts of stuff, but I was not uh, in a frame of mind where I could actually meet myself to reality that okay, this much time is left, or how I should go and prepare myself. Because people generally think that okay, it's just an application, I can punch it out and go. But like how to actually build and better your profile, that is something that students should be concerned about, and they can start their research on that at a very early phase, because if very less time is left, then it becomes very difficult for that. So if like the deadline is in September, October, just start preparing in April itself.
That's great. Okay, perfect, Vidhi. So it was great having you both. Thank you so much, Dhruv. Thank you, Vidhi, for being here. Okay. All right, perfect. So see you all pretty soon. Vidhi, you have to come to office soon.
I'll try.
Once your visa gets approved, at least you should come here. Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you so much, Vidhi. Thank you, Dhruv.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.